You've spent most of your life waiting for the right moment, the right feeling, the right spark of certainty that would finally push you forward. But moments don't make men, decisions do. And every time you paused, someone else moved. Someone less skilled, less thoughtful, less capable stepped into the space you hesitated to claim. Not because they deserved it, but because they acted first. That's the truth most people never confront. Life doesn't reward the most prepared. It rewards the most certain, and until now, that certainty hasn't belonged to you. But something changes the moment you stop waiting for permission to become who you already know you're capable of being. The man you've imagined in quiet moments, the one who enters rooms with presence, who speaks with clarity, who chooses his direction without apology. That version of you isn't a fantasy. He's a blueprint, a design, a potential you've ignored. Because you were told confidence is something you earn through effort, approval, praise, or experience. It isn't. Confidence is the act of walking first and thinking later. It's the refusal to shrink under the weight of uncertainty. It's the choice to move even while doubt whispers at your back. Right now, you think confidence will come when you feel stronger, when you feel more capable, when you feel ready. But readiness is a thief. It convinces you that preparation is power and action is risk. The truth is inverted. Action creates power. Movement creates clarity. Making a decision, even an imperfect one, creates momentum that hesitation can never match. And once you understand that certainty is a behavior, not a reward, everything begins to shift. You've been trained to believe your doubt means something. That hesitation is a sign you should stop, reflect, reconsider. But doubt isn't wisdom. Doubt is conditioning. Doubt is the residue of years spent being told to be agreeable, cooperative, polite, cautious. Those lessons were designed to keep you predictable, manageable, safe. But safe men don't lead. Safe men don't change anything. Safe men don't command respect. They survive quietly, comfortably, and invisibly. Confidence begins when you decide you're done surviving. From this point forward, you don't ask yourself whether you're ready. You act as if readiness will follow your footsteps. You move with the assumption that your presence carries weight, even if you've never tested it before. You stop seeking the feeling of certainty and start practicing the behavior of certainty. That is where transformation begins. Think of the moments in your life when you hesitated, when an opportunity appeared in front of you, when you had something to say but swallowed it, when you wanted to step forward but took a step back instead. In those moments, you believed you were being cautious. You believed you were protecting yourself. But those were the moments that shaped your identity as someone who waits, someone who analyzes instead of acts, someone who prioritizes avoiding mistakes over seizing potential. Every hesitation carved a little piece out of your confidence. Not because the moment was important, but because your brain learned a pattern. We wait. We hold back. We let others choose first. And each repetition made that pattern stronger. But patterns can be rewritten. The moment you choose to act where you once hesitated, you immediately return power to yourself. That power compounds. Every decisive word, every grounded step, every deliberate silence builds a foundation of confidence that no external judgment can shake. True confidence isn't loud. It isn't arrogant. It isn't theatrical. It's controlled, measured, and calm. It is the energy of someone who knows they can navigate whatever happens next. Not because they're perfect, but because they refuse to break under pressure. This is where your transformation begins, not in pretending to be fearless, but in deciding that fear is no longer the deciding factor in your choices. You walk differently when you stop waiting to be chosen. You speak differently when you stop hoping to be understood. You think differently when you stop letting other people's opinions dictate your value. Confidence is not an emotion. It's authority over your own internal narrative. You've spent your entire life feeling the need to justify yourself, your decisions, your thoughts, your presence. That ends now. You don't need to explain your direction to anyone. You don't need permission to take up space. You don't need validation to make a decision. You need only one thing: the willingness to stand by your actions without shrinking. That's what makes a man dangerous. not aggression, not volume, but the calm refusal to rely on external approval for internal certainty. Imagine walking into a room with that energy. You don't rush. You don't fidget. You don't search for signs that you belong. You assume you belong because you are there. Your presence alone is the confirmation. Others look around, reacting to the environment, adjusting themselves to what they think is expected. You observe quietly, unaffected, anchored. That is what confidence feels like. Not tension, but relief. Not pressure, but control. When you speak to deliver meaning, not to fill space. Your words are intentional. There is no need for qualifiers, apologies, or softening phrases. You speak with the tone of someone who already knows their perspective has value. You speak slowly enough that every word lands with weight. You speak as if you expect to be listened to, not because you believe you're superior, but because you respect your own voice. People respond to that energy. They lean in, they quiet themselves. They listen more closely, not because you demanded their attention, but because you projected certainty, and certainty is rare. Most people give themselves away through the way they talk. They lace their sentences with maybe and I think and I'm not sure. They raise their tone at the end of every statement as if asking permission to exist. They talk quickly to avoid silence because silence makes them uncomfortable. But silence is a tool for the confident. Silence makes others reveal themselves while you remain unreadable. Readability is weakness. Predictability is vulnerability. When people can see exactly what you're thinking, they know where to press. They know what to challenge. They know how to shift you off center. But when you cultivate controlled presence, when your tone is steady, your pace deliberate, your expression calm, you become someone others can't easily decode, and people fear what they cannot decipher. This isn't about pretending to be emotionless. It's about refusing to let emotional reactions lead. You still feel everything. You just choose what becomes visible. That is internal power. That is confidence in its most refined form. Think of the times you've been derailed by someone else's words. A criticism that stung, a joke that hit a little too close, a silence that made you question yourself. Those moments felt powerful because you were still giving people access to the levers inside you. But you are not obligated to hand those levers to anyone. How you react is your decision, not their control. Confidence doesn't mean indifference. It means discipline. You feel the emotion, but you don't broadcast it. You think the thought, but you don't obey it. You acknowledge the impulse, but you choose your action. That internal separation is what builds resilience. And resilience is the backbone of confidence. From now on, you don't respond instantly when triggered. You don't rush to defend yourself. You don't scramble to prove anything. You pause. You observe. You evaluate. You respond only when responding serves your goals, not your insecurities. That alone will change the way you interact with the world. People who cannot control their emotions are easy to manipulate. People who can control their reactions are impossible to predict. And people who cannot be predicted are respected, even feared, in subtle ways. This is not fear in the sense of aggression. This is fear in the sense of gravity. People respect what they cannot easily move. They admire what remains stable under pressure. They adjust to the presence that doesn't bend. And that presence can be yours. It begins with a single behavior, the choice to stop explaining yourself. Every time you explain your decisions to gain approval, you reinforce the belief that your choices require validation. Every time you justify your boundaries, you signal that those boundaries are negotiable. Every time you defend your feelings unnecessarily, you tell people your emotions are up for debate. You don't need to be rude. You don't need to be dismissive. You simply need to be certain. Certainty is the foundation of confidence, and certainty is a choice, not once, repeatedly, in every conversation, in every step, in every silence, in every moment where your old habits beg you to shrink. Confidence is not something you wait for. It's something you practice until it becomes the most natural part of you. And the moment you begin practicing it, truly practicing it, your entire identity starts to reconstruct itself from the inside out. You no longer measure your worth by how others respond to you. You no longer let silence intimidate you, nor criticism redirect you, nor rejection weaken you. Instead, you begin moving through the world with an internal anchor that no one else can touch. That anchor is self-definition. Up until now, your identity has been shaped by reaction. You became who you are through what others expected, what they praised, what they criticized, what they rewarded. That version of you was reactive. It was built from the outside inward. But the man you are becoming is built from the inside outward. His identity is self-authored, not crowd-constructed. His self-worth is not negotiated, it is established. When you stop needing others to confirm your value, you unlock a level of freedom that most people never experience. You stop walking into rooms wondering how you're being judged. Instead, you walk in already knowing who you are. You stop worrying about whether you fit in. Instead, you bring your presence and let the room adjust naturally. You stop fearing rejection. Instead, you see it as information, an indication of where your energy is no longer needed. Rejection loses its sting because your self-concept no longer depends on external acceptance. You understand that people rarely reject you out of deep understanding. They reject you from their own limitations, fears, misunderstandings, or misalignment. And once you see that, the rejection becomes neutral. It becomes clarity, not pain. This clarity allows you to move with precision. You stop chasing people who don't choose you. You stop over-explaining to people who don't listen. You stop performing for people who don't see you. You stop shrinking around people who don't appreciate your presence. You redirect your energy toward environments where you can grow, where your strength is not a threat, but an asset. This is where your confidence evolves into something deeper, something that transcends appearance, posture, tone. It becomes a psychological foundation. You become immune to emotional turbulence created by others. Their approval feels pleasant but not essential. Their disapproval feels irrelevant, not threatening. Their praise does not inflate you, and their criticism does not collapse you. This internal equilibrium makes you powerful in any social, professional, or personal environment because it removes the emotional leverage others once had over you. You are no longer pulled by the need to impress, the fear of offending, or the urge to prove anything. You're centered, calm, observant. People sense that immediately. They pick up on your composure, your lack of desperation, your absence of cluttered energy. Most people live in noise. You begin to live in clarity. Clarity speaks louder than confidence itself. When you know what you want and what you will not tolerate, people treat you differently. They speak to you differently. They approach you differently. They hesitate before crossing you. Not because you're aggressive, but because your boundaries are unmistakable. You carry yourself like someone who is not afraid to walk away from anything that prevents growth. This willingness to walk away is one of the purest forms of confidence. It means you do not cling. You do not chase. You do not attach your identity to outcomes or people. You choose based on alignment, not need. And when something no longer aligns, you step back without drama, without emotional collapse, without internal conflict. People respect that. Even those who don't understand it. This kind of confidence creates a shift in your presence. You no longer try to fill every silence with words. Silence becomes your ally. It becomes a filter. It reveals who feels threatened by calm and who feels drawn to it. The ones who feel threatened are operating from insecurity. The ones who feel drawn are operating from respect. When you speak intentionally. You don't rush. You don't stumble over thoughts trying to impress people. You don't raise your tone at the end of sentences. You speak with conviction, even when stating something simple. And when someone challenges your perspective, you don't flinch. You don't scramble to defend yourself. You don't spill your logic in a desperate attempt to be understood. You remain steady. I see it differently. That's all it takes. Confidence is not having the perfect argument. It's being unmoved by disagreement. There will always be people who misunderstand you. There will always be people who judge you. There will always be people who interpret your confidence as arrogance because they themselves have never experienced internal stability. You do not adjust for them. You do not bend to make them comfortable. You do not dim your clarity to ease their insecurity. Your presence is not meant for everyone, and that's the point. When you stop trying to be universally liked, you become uniquely respected. People may not always agree with you, they may not always understand you, but they will feel your certainty, and certainty is the closest thing to power humans instinctively recognize. Think of every person you've ever admired, leaders, creators, thinkers, innovators. They all share one quality: internal conviction. They don't waver under pressure. They don't drown in doubt. They don't collapse under judgment. They don't chase validation. They stand firm in their decisions, their purpose, their direction. And that steadiness bends the world around them. Your confidence becomes unstoppable. When you realize you can cultivate that same steadiness, not by imitating others, but by trusting yourself, trusting your ability to handle whatever unfolds, trusting your intuition, trusting your decisions, even when others disagree, trusting that progress is more powerful than perfection. This trust shows in your movements. You walk differently, not because you're trying to appear confident, but because you're no longer carrying the weight of judgment. Your shoulders relax, your chest opens slightly, your gaze levels. You move with the rhythm of someone who is not in competition, because competition requires comparison, and comparison dilutes authenticity. Confidence comes from alignment, not competition. Your posture becomes grounded because your mind is grounded. Your voice becomes calmer because your emotions are calmer. Your decisions become clearer because your priorities are clearer. And people feel that. They feel it before you speak. They feel it even when you're silent. Confidence is energetic before it is physical. When you enter a room, you no longer wonder where you should stand or whom you should impress. You simply arrive. That quiet arrival carries weight. People notice the ones who aren't scrambling for attention. They notice the ones who don't rush to fill space. They notice the ones who move with deliberate intention. Your presence becomes a message that says, without words, I know who I am. And when others sense that, they recalibrate around you. Not because you forced them to, but because certainty creates gravity. People naturally orbit what feels stable when everything else in their world is chaos. You become that stability, not through dominance, but through integrity of identity. This is the level of confidence that transforms your relationships, your career, your interactions, and your inner world. You build standards based on self-respect. You set boundaries based on self-worth. You choose environments that match your growth. You reject anything that requires you to shrink. This kind of confidence is not loud. It is not chaotic. It is not performative. It is controlled, intentional, and composed. It does not need an audience because it is not built for validation. It is built for direction. And from this point forward, your direction is your power. You no longer wait. You no longer hesitate. You no longer default to the version of you that needed reassurance. You move deliberately, speak intentionally, act decisively, and think independently. You do not ask to be chosen. You choose yourself. If you'd like any refinements or an extended version, I can continue seamlessly.